Welcome to the Everyday Magic Podcast. I'm Anya Rock.
And I'm Dr. Sophia Trivena.
We've been best friends for 25 years, united by the belief that no matter what life throws at us, we can always find the magic. Join us every week as we dive into our most intimate conversations about sex, money, intuition, and building our company, Sophia, a merger of our names and the best of us. Hi, Goddess. Welcome back again.
Yay, we're going to be with Teresa
We're
again.
all here having
me.
It's you.
I love that we thought we were going to shoot one episode with Teresa. And of course, we're going to shoot two because we have so much to talk about.
Yes, that's true. We go deep.
Yeah.
We go all in.
Yes. I mean, even when you're doing our makeup every time we shoot this, that's a couple hours and we never run out of things to talk about.
I feel like a lot of times our in the chair talk turns into your podcast for the day.
Absolutely.
Yes, as it did today.
Yeah, which is why we have to pull her out. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In today's episode, we really go deep into being single and dating, navigating life on the other side as mature women.
All three of us have been married. All three of us have been divorced. All three of us are single and dating right now. I think we have a lot to get into.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
Love on the radar of how we're navigating life and intimacy.
Apps, IRL.
So exciting.
Awesome. Well, and I think you brought up something too around the way that women are with each other, right? The way that we talked about, like you said, when girls, and I immediately went to like the middle school girl kind of stuff that starts at home. And this idea, we've talked a lot about the sisterhood and, this idea of being competitive with each other, not honoring. It's like we can't honor each other if we don't honor ourselves. So if we can't learn to be selfish in the healthiest way possible or honor, then we also can't honor someone else's desire to have that space or time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then it's almost like the two are so folded into each other in the way that women interact with each other. I'm curious if you must experience it a bit in the industry being what it is, but how I feel like you're the antidote to it in the way that you are with your clients, the way I experience you, and the way that I see you in social media and in the world. But how do you experience it, and how do you feel like you if you'll claim being an antidote to this kind of competitive female energy? Like, how do you express that? And does it resonate with you?
The competitiveness between women has never resonated with me. I don't understand it. I've never been like that. Where I am competitive with myself. Like, I'm always trying to do better. Like, even when I'm driving down Orange County, I'm like, okay, last time I made it down in 55 minutes. Today I'm going to make it in 50 minutes. Like,
That's how you ended up with a broken wrist.
Exactly. But with my friends and with like my sister, like I know so many people that are even competitive with their family members. I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't like that with my sisters or my brothers. So I don't understand it. And growing up, I saw cattiness with girls starting at a very young age. I mean, my earliest memory is probably 6 or 7. And I just remember even my little self telling myself, like, I don't ever want to make someone feel that way in my presence. Like, I would feel a horrible person if I ever made someone feel this bad about themselves. So I think I made it a thing as even when I was little, like, I will never be cruel to somebody. Have I hurt people's feelings? Sure. Inadvertently, I have. I can be really blunt, but to purposely make someone feel ostracized or not like they belong or they're ugly or just make someone feel bad on purpose, like that's not in my DNA. And then when I see it amongst other women, the cattiness and the competitiveness and not being happy for the wins, and when they're going through something bad, like secretly like relishing in that, like that's not my...
That's toxic.
That's toxic. It's not my wavelength. And I realized when I was in my marriage, I also had friends like that. And they weren't really good friends. So I really cleansed a lot of people out of my life during the pandemic. And I have no space for it anymore. I have almost like a force field around me. And I can see it so easily now. I can see the behavior. I can feel it. And I just distance myself. I just literally physically distanced myself from it. And I think maybe that's why starting over again in LA was so appealing to me because there's those people everywhere.
Mhm.
You know, they're everywhere. But I know a lot of them in DC.
Right.
I
You
don't
got
know
to
any of them in
choose.
LA.
Yeah.
And you get to
I've
choose.
been, here I've been able to choose. I've met tons of people, but the people that I choose to spend my time with, and I don't have a lot of free time, is very far and few. Where I think when I lived in DC and I lived there so long that I was forced to spend time with people a lot of times that maybe weren't the best fit. And I don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
really curated a life here that's
Like that.
reflected.
Curating my life here. is
Yeah, there's a
fresh
time
start.
when you're just responding to the societal playbook and the expectations that were baked into you. And maybe even that little girl that said, I never want to make people feel that bad, decided to be a younger woman that wanted to make people feel so good.
Yes.
Right? It's almost like that could be the flip motivation that spurred that along with the societal stuff. And then all of a sudden it goes so far that your life has just become lost to you. And you're like, wait a minute. And then you get a chance to like refresh, redo. And you did it. It's inspiring.
The pause was what was needed to become the woman that I was supposed to be. And, I've been told since I was in high school, like I have resting bitch face, like I don't look approachable, I'm like mean. And so
Really? I do not see that.
it's funny, but for like, I think until I was in my mid 30s, I would hear that a lot. And I realize now a lot of those people that said that had their own insecurities. And that's not a recipe for me. Like, I wasn't the pretty girl in school. I wasn't the popular girl in school. I was a little weird and awkward. I was taller. I had braces for 4 years. I had bad acne. I wore headgear. Like it wasn't cute. Okay. So I know what that feels like. And I think that I don't see myself the way that other people see, but I am well aware now in my 40s of how other people see me
As
and being
absolutely
glamorous
stunning.
and what have you. But I'm still that girl, silly, goofy, weird with headgear. And I have tried really hard as I've gotten older to disarm people because I know that a lot of insecure people could feel intimidated by me. But then there's the other part of me that's like, I don't need to dumb myself down for those people. They're not my people then. Because the people that want to work with me and like want me to do their makeup, they're like, oh my gosh, like she's got great energy. She's really artistic. Like I would love to be around her instead of, oh, well, she looks like she's stuck up. Or she
You
looks
are
like
an addition to any room, in our opinion. Like
absolutely. No, it's a highlight. It's a highlight every time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I get to see Teresa. And you're going to come out for dinner and dancing with me.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Speaking of dinner and dancing, what's your play these days? Like when you're not working and you're not focused on this next emergence and creation, what's the playful side of Teresa?
I think the first year and a half, 2 years I was living in LA, it was still the pandemic and I was still growing and healing and trying to evolve into the person I am. So I feel like the last year and a half here has me been exploring. Doing things alone, which I have never done before, going out and meeting new people. That feels like a field trip for me. Like this is exciting because, I'm going to the supper club tonight. I would never do something like this on my own. And, I don't know who's going to be there. I literally know no one, but I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of exciting for me, to new opportunities, new events, new restaurants, new people, just everything is new. And even just being in California itself is being new. And I have enjoyed exploring LA, exploring California, exploring different people that I've met because I've met a rainbow of people here. And even dating, I
was going to say, when do we get started about dating?
Here we go. I have gone out with a lot of people that I would say is not quintessentially my type, but I realized in the past maybe what I thought was my type didn't fit me. So I was like,
you've
you know what?
changed.
Yeah, I've changed.
Yeah.
It's just a date.
Has your type changed as you've changed?
Slightly. There's still a lot that's the same, but I think overall for me, I just want someone that is consistent and empathetic and reliable. Like these
You don't want the
things
roller coaster.
I don't want, yes.
That's what I sense from you.
I don't want the roller coaster anymore. And like, you get taught after a while that the butterflies are actually not a good feeling. It's like that anxious feeling. Sometimes the butterflies, it's like a trigger, so sometimes the person that makes you feel safe and just feels like home, like feels comfortable is actually a good thing. Like we love that bad boy feeling of the excitement and the roller coaster, but I don't want to be on that ride anymore.
No. And are you an in real life or an app dater?
I have in the last 4 years only gone on one app for 2 weeks, and it was terrifying for me. I chose Bumble, and because I thought like it's the one that's supposed to be you as a woman have more control. I did not feel
we do the swiping.
I didn't feel that way at all. It was intense. I'm glad I did it, but I don't really know if I want to do it again, and I haven't.
Well, it sounds like you're meeting people IRL though. So how do you do that? Because I tell people I meet people IRL, and literally everyone goes, "How? How does that work?" So how does it work? What's your answer to that?
Where are you going to meet these real life humans?
No, like out in the wild. Like this is
I do both.
1990.
I'm on the apps. I do both, but I can relate to the feeling of being terrified. I mean, you had to walk me through.
Oh boy, Carrie. So the way I was with the way I was with Botox, Anya was with the apps.
I was like, "What do I do? What do I do next?" She's like, "Okay, first
We're
you
gonna take this step by
respond."
step.
Like I literally had no idea. I didn't know you do a video call first. Like I didn't. She really had to
Yeah,
talk me off the ledge.
we were talking each other off the ledge of very different things.
I think there's scary things on both. Like because that I have now done online dating, and I've also been set up by some of my matchmaker friends, which is also
matchmaker
I know.
friends? Wait a minute.
A whole new world.
Yeah.
Do we need another friend beside each other that matchmakes us? We're missing our matchmaker friend. Maybe it's Teresa.
Well, that's how I started my business. Is I was in the matchmaking industry.
What?
So.
Matchmake us. Yeah. Not with each other. That's not what I meant.
Matchmaking is a weird thing. I had a friend actually ask me about it, and I'm like, I'm going to tell you the truth. Matchmaking doesn't work for most women, especially if you're over 40. It's better to hire a coach. And a lot of women get insulted because they think I don't need like a dating coach. I don't need a dating coach. I'm awesome.
A dating coach, not just a coach, a dating coach.
But like we hire business coaches, we hire fitness coaches, we hire coaches for like why not for your love life? But I feel like a lot of women get very offended by the fact that a coach is suggested. But
what would a dating coach do that a matchmaker can't?
The same thing that your business coach and your fitness coach and all the other coaches that you might hire for different things in your life do.
Help you see blind spots that are keeping you from what you want.
Yes. Stop breaking the bad patterns, because clearly something's not working and you want this. You want a relationship. Why would you hire a dating coach? You want to get in shape. Why are you hiring a fitness coach? You want to be better at business. So why are you not hiring a dating coach?
Are we about to go Google dating?
What's our next guest?
I know lots.
This is our new dating coach. They're going to coach us right on the Everyday Magic podcast.
But I mean, that's really... I've met so many successful people who are so great in their professional lives, but they're not doing great in their personal lives.
I've had hundreds of clients in 25 countries, and I will say one of them has not, like we've always, too many double negatives. And all the clients I've had, everyone, eventually we talk about their romantic and their dating life, and guidance comes through for them, and I'm astounded by what I hear and see, and a lot of that is filtered in what I've shared with you about dating. But a lot of people don't realize how much they're blocking what they want.
Oh, 1,000%. I mean, men are easier to match, and this is why. Because when a man is going to take the steps to look for a matchmaker, go in for the interview, pay for the service, he is fully vested in, I am ready for love. Like, I want this. For the woman, that means the matchmaker's got to go find, viable dates for her. And a lot of times those guys aren't fully vested because they're not paying. They're just like, okay, you got a date for me? I'll go, I guess. But it's like throwing a dart in the dark.
Okay, so wait a minute. So the men come in, I'm putting this money down, and it's easier to find a woman that's as committed that didn't put the money down. Versus
the opposite way,
the woman puts down the money, and a man will just say, "I'll do it, whatever." But I'm not that invested unless I've. That's interesting. It's the only reason I actually ever do go on apps, and I'll go on, and I'm usually on for 2 or 3 weeks at most, and I only do it maybe once a year for a phase when I'm coming out of 4 or 5 months of not dating or something, just to see what's out there and get back in the field again. But the reason I do it is I watch to see what I respond to and what where I am now at this round of dating. But one of the reasons I go on is because I know that the men are on there want to date.
Yes, they do.
It's a single
That's
reason.
why it works better.
I'll be in a room and I'll be like, these men are interesting or whatever, but I don't know if they're single or if they want to date. And even if they want to, we live in this country where they don't want to be that guy. They do not want to be the guy that walks over and introduces themselves, because in America, then you might be that guy, a creep, someone pushing, someone that you might, complain about. And so they're so, I actually cried when I was moving from Europe back to America for the first time, because I was like the land of repressed men that will not cross a room to ask you out. After being in Portugal and Italy and other places where everywhere you go, men will be like, oh, you lock eyes, you smile at each other, the man crosses the room, you talk. You go to America, not once, been here almost 3 years, not once has it ever happened.
It's happened a lot to me, but it's never someone that I want to go out with.
Someone you wish wouldn't cross the room.
They actually are that guy.
They are that guy. I mean, it literally happened to me
lose.
like 2 weeks ago at my pool. I mean, I was giving off all the signals of I am not approachable. Huge hat, sunglasses, earpods in, laying on my stomach, watching my business modules on one phone, like taking notes on another phone. And all of a sudden I feel this presence behind me. And I'm like, is someone talking to me? And I turn around and this guy's just like, I'm like, take out earpod. Like, what? Are you talking to me? He's like, yeah, hey, so you still live here? I'm like, what the I'm like, yes, I still live here. Like, you've been here for like 4 years. I'm like, okay, stalker. And then he's like, you look like you could use somebody to rub lotion on your back. And I'm like, creep alert, get away from me.
He is that guy. So the guys that you want to cross the room to talk to you will not do it because they don't want to be that guy.
Exactly. So I do feel that space where a lot of the good guys are like, I don't want to be that guy. So I appreciate that. But then
nothing happens.
Then
you have to
nothing
go in
happens.
an app.
Exactly.
Right.
Then you all go on apps. But that's why it works better for women to get on an app. You have more choices. And, women that hire a matchmaker are usually high net worth, right? They're making a good income, usually highly educated, and usually a boss in her own self. So she's probably got a lot of masculine energy. And she's coming in with a laundry list. He's got to be this tall. He's got to have this degree. He's got to have, like, this was especially evident in DC, like the degree and the advanced degree and where he went to college. These were all very important things. And these lists, I'm like, okay, the first thing I would say to them is like, okay, can we tear this list up? Like, does him going to Harvard have anything to do with your self-satisfaction and how he's going to make you happy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what does that mean to you? Why is that so important to you? And I think it's not in the end. So they want this type of guy. And in matchmaking, there are those men, but those men aren't looking for that woman. So you're not going to match them together.
What are they looking for?
A woman who's fun, who is positive, who laughs at their jokes, who's family oriented, who is flexible and, will support them. Most of them don't even care what she does for a living as long as maybe she has a job.
So she can fit into his life?
It could be. It could be very like, you need to fit into my world. But usually a high-powered C-level executive guy isn't looking for a high-powered C-level executive woman, because that means then now they're competing. And I need to be this person in the relationship. Like, we can be a power couple, but then they're going to be like, I'm not saying it can't work, but that guy is not usually looking for that woman.
And you were actually in this industry talking to people about what they wanted, and this is what you saw. This is factual.
I mean, okay, this was the most annoying one for me. It was always the petite women.
Dish.
Okay, because I'm 5'9", would come in and say, I want a guy who's 6'2". I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the stats for you because I've looked this up. It's literally like 5% of the male population in the world is over 6 feet tall. So you've automatically eliminated 95%.
Do they have a jet? I mean, I'm telling you, it's 1%.
You've already eliminated 95% of the men just based on inches.
Wow.
Like, girl, how? And these women are like
6'2",
5'4", and I'm like, even with 5-inch heels on, you could still date a guy that's 5'9". You would still be eye to eye.
I'm 5'4", and I always am with someone that's over 6 feet.
See, and yet I don't think I've ever dated anyone, like one person, but most of the guys I've gone out with are like 5'9", 5'10".
Interesting.
And for a lot of women, that's too short.
I just X them out if they're 5'9".
Oh my God, I don't ever care. I just always end up with someone. I had a boyfriend that was
like
6'9".
5'9". X, sorry, you might be.
Yeah,
I mean,
lovely.
if it's working for you.
I mean, I'm not also like that committed to the app search, but at the moment I can just be like,
and of course, all guys lie about their height on the app. So deduct a half an inch to
if
a
you
full
say
inch.
5'9", you're probably 5'7".
Right, exactly. So, I mean,
X.
how important is it to you? But I always noticed it wasn't the tall women that would say that. It was always the petite women. It would drive me nuts. I'm like, okay, so now you've left with the 5% of the men that are 6 feet or taller. And now how many of them are single? They're not married. Okay, now you've eliminated this many. Now how many are the age range you want? How many of them like want children? Like I would go on and on. Now you've eliminated like literally the almost entire population of men in the world. You have like 2 people left. And then what if this person has everything you're looking for, but you are not what they're looking for? And then they were like, ew. So
boy, these stats are depressing.
It is,
what
right?
did you then guide them to do? So, okay, it's not
be
that
more
list.
open. Is that really what's most important to you?
Right.
And so when you ask me, like, have my taste changed? Yeah, I would never have listed empathy when I was in my 20s is what I'm looking for in a guy. But yeah, I am. Is it possible? I don't know, but I'll be single forever until I find it. But if you don't have empathy, I don't want to be with you. I'm done with a narcissist.
Word.
Yeah.
We're all for that.
We're all for that. Yeah.
I mean, no one signs up like, give me that narcissist.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think we've all had those people in our lives, and they can be very charming and very seductive. But I can spot it now after all that therapy and coaching. Like, you can spot it. So empathy for me is a turn on.
Right. What makes you spot it, by the way? I'm curious.
The narcissism?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not right away. But there's the love bombing phase, right?
I can't believe I found you. Oh my God, you're exactly everything I wanted. It's just amazing. Like, how are you single? When can I see you next? I had such a good time. Can we stay a little bit longer? What's your weekend? Yeah. A little bit like that.
And it feels so good.
Yeah.
You know, it feels so good in the moment. And they have this sixth sense, like they know what you're missing at that moment in time. So they feed into that. Like, she's missing this, so I'm going to give her this. They're literally like predators. So they know what you need and they become what you need at that time.
And I feel like what I've learned is to just wait and watch the small things.
Yes.
Just really watch the small things.
Consistency.
Yes.
Consistency in choosing themselves, consistency in not showing up for you, whatever that looks like notice the patterns because they're all the same.
I always feel like the first few days shows me the syllabus of the whole journey. Like, it's the microcosm of the macrocosm. Like, I remember one date I was looking forward to. I got off, he was supposed to pick me up from the ferry, and I got off the ferry, and it was cold and dark, and he wasn't there, and I had to wait 20 minutes. And I was like, here I am standing in the cold, wondering where he is. And then a few weeks later, we broke up, and I was left standing in the cold, wondering where he is energetically. It was a similar thing. But I then started realizing, because I've been single for most of my life, so I've had a lot more years of dating and a lot of different cultures and experiences, I really realized, like, however they make me feel in the first few days is how they'll always make me feel. Like,
that's really powerful. For the most part, I feel that. Although there are some very good narcissists out there
that'll make you feel good for the first few days and are really good at it.
You need to give them a little longer.
A little longer than that.
This is the earned intimacy we've talked about, right? Not that we don't know someone, and we really do have to expand the time and let them show how they're going to show up when things are hard or how they're going to show up in conflict. What happens when they're angry? What happens when they're disappointed? What happens when there's a miscommunication? And that can't be revealed without time.
Yes. Those are all really important points. How do they problem solve? Do they come through when you need them the most, when things are not, puppies and sunshine rainbows? So will they be there for you in the way that you want them to be?
And I think a big one is when you bring something to them, like, I'd like to pivot on this, or like, can we try something different? How open are they to co-creation? And because I'll find that there'll be there's a reaction. Whatever that reaction is tells a lot. That's been one of my biggest things of like,
Do you mean in intimacy or in both?
Someone that I'm dating, or we're in intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in romantic. I guess in probably anything, but especially in romantic stuff though, because it can be something like this didn't work so well for me. Do they take it as criticism even though I'm not criticizing? And I'd love to co-create something a little different. Are they open and can they? Those are really two huge things because that's what's going on in life all the time.
When you guys talk about your relationship, it is almost like a marriage. You know,
as Anya says, we're business married.
Yeah, it's like a marriage. It's real, and how you guys talk about how you go about making decisions together. That is a marriage. That's very much like a marriage.
It is in a lot of
ways.
ways.
We even share a bank account.
Yeah, we have. She's my first joint account with any human on earth. Anya.
I mean, it's a business account.
Yeah,
but
but still, I mean, that is actually a big move because I will tell you in both of my marriages, we never shared a bank account. So that I can that resonates with me.
Really
like that's a move right there.
And our approach.
We're a power couple.
Yeah, we love that. Yeah. We really complement each other. I wanted someone over taller than me. It worked out.
Yeah.
6'4" in finance.
Oh, it's so funny. Actually, we are a great example of giving each other the feeling, but you could never give the recipe. Like if I said I wanted a business partner, the only thing I said I wanted in my next business partner, if I ever first of all, I wanted to never have one again. And after
look what you've done,
right?
I know.
And then I would advise other people, if you're going to have a business partner, try to never have one again. But if you're going to have a business partner, you're going to be in bed with them. Be with someone you can be in bed with. Like, can you actually travel and get stuck in a hotel and lie and sleep in the same room and be okay? Like, can you have the shit hit the fan and you're going to stay in close and not, be at each other's throats? So I was like considering different business partners that would come along and they'd always fade away. But is it this boyfriend? Is it this friend? Whatever. And that I ended up having a business partner again is still astounding to me. But it's like, yeah, we can roll through all of the things. And I would think it would be really hard to be business partners if you can't. But
it's kind of like, I mean, the travel is an interesting, right? Like when you in a romantic or if you're intimate with someone and you take a trip with them, like it's so much is revealed, right? When you take someone out of their circumstances and into a place where we're more challenged, we're more like up against our fatigue or, we're hungry, suddenly it's not all about us. And then I think a lot gets revealed in those.
Absolutely. I mean, they always say that's the test. And it's interesting, like when I became single again and I would meet these guys and literally out of the gate, they're like, do you want to go on a weekend getaway with me? I'm like, no, it's too soon. Like, I think that's scarier for women in some ways to go away with a man that you don't know very well because there's the physical sense of it. And if you've ever been in a relationship that was physically harmful, that fear is always there. Like I'm a confident, secure woman, but you could physically outtake me, and I don't know you well enough to know. Yeah. I always wonder what the guys are thinking. Like, are you just trying to pull out the test right now to see if I'm crazy on a trip, or do you really want to go on a trip with me? I don't know. How soon is too soon to go on a trip with someone you just started dating?
Right.
I guess it's different per person, but
depends how far. Maybe you could just go to Ojai. Like you're still right. I think everything can be this sense of like earned access, earned intimacy, right? Maybe we have a staycation in the city and then maybe we go to Ojai, but I'm still close enough I can leave before I get on a plane and go somewhere, or we go somewhere where I don't have access.
Yeah. The thought of that, like I remember when someone asked me, and it was literally like 2 weeks into the dating, I wouldn't even say we were in a relationship yet, wanting to go away. I'm like, that's where I'm like, no. My initial reaction is no.
What does it signal to you?
I don't know you well enough yet.
Danger.
Not even so much physical danger, but like
too much access.
You
to
might
me.
get on my effing nerves, and like I don't want to be around you 24/7 for 3 or 4 days in a row. Like I need my space, and I'm glad I made that decision with this person because that person would have absolutely gotten on my nerves. So I do think that traveling might be different for other people, but you absolutely will see the person for who they are on that trip, and I think you just need to be ready for that.
Do you travel with girlfriends?
Yeah. Traveling with girlfriends, but that can also be the same.
But if you only knew a friend for 2 weeks, are you going to go travel together?
No,
probably not.
Absolutely not.
Do you guys ever use that? Would I do this with a friend when you're contemplating
like
choices with men? And
actually, yes, I do. the last 4 or 5 years, yes. Never before, no. But I'm like, why would I put up with this from a man? I wouldn't put up with it from a girlfriend, or vice versa.
Or the opposite. Like I
Yeah.
would, do you have the opposite? Where how would I hold the same standard? Am I holding him to a higher standard than I would my friend? Does it ever go the other way?
I have held men to a higher standard than friends in a way, for sure. And I've noticed it, and I've said it. I remember saying it in my 30s. I'm like, wait a minute, we wouldn't be upset if one of us did this. Why are we talking about the guys like they're wrong about this? I called that out really early. And I also called it the other direction, both ways. And every time anyone I ever said it to said the same thing to me, guys are different. And I'm like,
Or
but
it's
should
different
they?
in intimacy, like that kind of intimacy is different.
Well, I will say this from a neuroscience perspective, just if you will for a moment. Like the part of your brain that lights up when you're in friendship is a different part of your brain than lights up that in romance. And the romance part also lights up children and pets, and it also is related to how you were brought up. So the circuitry gets formed when you're brought up, and then whenever you bring in a pet, a partner, or a child, it lights up the same circuitry. So you wonder why, like, you're fine, but all of a sudden you're talking like your mom with your child, or you're talking like your dad when you're talking to your partner. Like they're all kind of mapped together in the brain, where friendship is this like oasis away from that rat's nest
so
of
interesting
normalization, right? So when I date, I try to hold men, even if we end up getting intimate and being sexual, I still try to map that sexuality with the friendship part of my brain and not the romantic part, until we earn that together to go into that more charged space that has a lot of stuff that's going to come up from our childhoods, and it's a different circuitry.
She's working on the friends with benefits angle.
For some reason, I'm not comfortable with that.
I know. I just like to tease her. She doesn't
Why? Why am I not comfortable with that?
Yeah, why are you not
Why
comfortable?
am I not comfortable with friends with benefits? Why am I not comfortable with that?
Lovers with friendship.
More accurate.
Friends with benefits.
Feels more accurate because they're not my friend with benefits, I guess.
Right.
Like,
they're not truly
they're
a friend.
lovers that I'm holding as a friend until we earn more together. What's that? Yeah, I don't know. It's a very neuroscience approach. I'm like literally trying to keep it in a certain part of my brain that doesn't have me go into attachment, unearned intimacy, unearned loyalty. Like they shouldn't have that much of my bandwidth until we find our way over to that. And then we better have the tools in place to deal with what comes up. Because there's circuitry just waiting to be revealed there.
I feel like in the friends with benefits situation, just like male, female platonic relationships, there's always someone that wants more than that. And that's what usually ends up breaking the dynamic.
Fair. Interesting. Okay, where with lovers that are friends, that's not the case so much. We're both navigating being more. That's probably the difference. We're navigating being more.
Very
it's hard for me to separate now. Like and we were talking about this, like for me to have a physical relationship with someone, I need to also be intellectually stimulated and feel something else from you, not just the physical side of things.
Right.
And also for me, I get more physically attracted to you the more intellectually stimulated we are in connection. So I can see someone I think is hot, but I'm like, I don't judge if you want to go have sex. That's great for you. But for me, that's just a discovery. I'm like, okay, this person fascinates me, but I need to get to know you better. And there's actually people that I've met that I didn't necessarily think attractive at first, but as I got to know them, they became more attractive because of the inside part of them.
I actually find that more and more as I get older, that they're not attractive the first time I see them. And then by the third date, I've said it to Anya many times, I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like, the first time, I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes he looks like this and sometimes he looks weird like that. I don't know. It just doesn't land quite. I'm not quite there. Then the third date, I'll be like, oh my God, he's just so beautiful. He's just like all of a sudden the hottest man in the world. Because we've really connected.
I bet there's neuroscience in that.
I'm sure there's neuroscience.
I'm pretty sure there's some neuroscience of like, why does the female of the species suddenly see this male counterpart as the most beautiful man
They'll
she's
get more
ever
and
been
more
with.
and more beautiful. Well, you do this exercise. Just do eye gazing with someone for like, I know it sounds like a lot, but 5 minutes where you just look in someone's eye. They will become the most beautiful person ever. I've done it with an 80-year-old man, and he became like the most beautiful. Like when you connect with someone's soul, the beauty shines through, and you see them differently. There's that for sure, for sure.
And I think that's how men and women are wired differently. And this goes back to the matchmaking thing of Men can go out with a beautiful woman, say, okay, I'm physically attracted to her. But if he really wants love in a relationship and she's a very vacant person and, has a lot of horrible qualities and is toxic, he's going to walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
He still might want to sleep with her, but he's going to walk away from it. Whereas if you sat down in front of him and you had every quality and trait he ever wanted, but he's not physically attracted to you, that's never going to change. Doesn't matter how dynamic of a person you are, how kind you are, how funny you are, you're always going to be friend zone for him. That attraction won't change. Where we, as women, as we get to know a guy more and that connection grows, we become more attractive. And that's how men and women are different. And a lot of women don't understand that. And so they're like, well, I want a guy to like me for who I am on the inside. I'm like, he will, but he needs to first want to fuck you.
Right. Well, they say that, what was that I was reading, that to access a man's heart, you have to go through the body. You have to access through sex, but access a woman's sexuality, you have to go through her heart. Something like this.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Men are very visual. They're very visual. We're more forgiving there.
Right. Do you know the single biggest visual cue men are attracted to? Across cultures, they've done studies where they watch men's eyes, where they go, no matter what culture they're in, what age. It's one thing. Can you guess what it is?
No.
Okay. It's the hip to waist ratio.
That's a good one. Because if there's more than 10 inches, you are considered having fertile childbearing hips. And in their archaic caveman DNA, that is what they want, is a woman whose hip to waist ratio is wider, because that means you have childbearing hips, and that's what they looked for.
Even if you're
Hence
very
the booty.
Right.
Hence the, I mean, now you can get a butt lift.
Right.
Implants.
To give that.
I've actually read that somewhere.
And then
makes sense.
You guys know about pheromones and how that is a big signal of attraction. And they figured out why. It's the more diverse our ability to have antibodies for immunity. So if I have, 50% of what I need and you have the other 50%, we'll be attracted to each other. But if we have the exact same, we won't be attracted to each other. They had women smell men's t-shirts and say which ones were most attractive to them. And when
smell's a big one for me.
The only one that they could figure, the only reason that women were attracted to this t-shirt is it had a very different profile of what would make a child immune. Like, their antibodies there.
Fascinating.
And smell. You said smell. Smell is definitely very important.
The smell
for me.
indicates that. So if you smell someone, you can basically know they have a different profile of health.
Be like, hi, come closer. I need to smell you.
That would be
this is why the apps don't work for me. I need to smell you.
That would be an interesting speed dating.
I mean, you can smell them
Blind
after you
speed
video
dating.
them.
I just want to smell you.
Imagine if everyone gave an article of clothing. Okay, everyone's outside in the lobby. Everyone gets 5-10 articles of clothing. I pick these 3 and I get to go on dates with those guys.
I mean, there's something to this. I would be willing to try that one, a smell test, because this is really important. Like, I went out with someone, he didn't wear any cologne, and I don't know. That's not a deal breaker, but I didn't like his natural smell.
Oh, I can't do
it wasn't
cologne.
like a BO smell, but it was just like...
There's definitely men's smell where I'm like, this is not the smell for me, for sure. I'm for sure. And then I don't know about you guys, but every man that's been really into me, they're just like, I am crazy about your smell. I smelled you the second I walked in. I get told that. Not by every man, but the men that are crazy about me.
But you said you don't wear perfume.
I don't wear perfume. They like my smell. Like, they just like me. And I don't like men wearing cologne because I want to smell them. But we're only with each other when we like each other's smell.
Maybe that's my problem. I do like a way a good cologne smells.
Then maybe it's masking.
Oh, boy.
It's like the 6-foot thing or whatever. It's like, what is it really saying?
It's not a deal breaker, but it's really hard when someone that is not attractive is wearing a cologne that I think smells good, because it's confusing to me.
Yeah,
right. Like, you smell good, but...
Yeah, what if they just banned cologne for you? What would happen with dating?
Nothing good. I don't
down and dirty. Real down and dirty for me, I guess. I mean...
So then I actually have a question, because you said you want empathy. Like, do you know the top qualities you would want? Like, all of us, there's got to be more than empathy. And what do you have, Goddess? Like, what's important to you after you've been dabbling in dating for a while? You have an opinion here, I'm sure.
Good question. I think creativity is a big one right now. Like, even just the creativity of, like, this is designing the date, right? Of wanting to put the effort into creating an experience for me.
Mm-hmm.
Empathy for sure. When we get down the road, that's a deal breaker. I think empathy is a deal breaker. But I think one of the starting pieces is this like creativity. I'm also more, I think like when I go on the apps now, it's interesting to see more reflected back of men who've been separated, been divorced, like had that experience too. We can kind of relate on that level.
So maybe common.
Or just like they've had a life experience that we can relate to.
Okay.
I mean, I think if I'm going to date someone, there has to be a shared understanding of like my commitment to my kids versus the time I can be with them. So whereas like you won't date someone who has kids, and there's maybe some gray area there, but in general.
My preference for sure.
Whereas my very little experience, not that I can't date someone who doesn't have kids, but there is a different sense of
understanding.
Yeah.
If really the ultimate goal is resonance, which I believe it is universal, that resonance is very different, but still there's got to be, unless you want to just fight or you want friction, but I don't think any of us want that, then the resonance is going to come from lived experience in a lot of ways. And you and I have resonance, but we're not cohabitating and we're not,
Right. And I think if I were to date someone looking for some kind of, for something more serious, it's also similarly how we brought this conversation in the beginning of like separating productivity from, our value, is the sense of being with someone who's ready to not just be in work 90% of the time and then like, oh, I'm just going to find a little sliver of time, but actually has gotten to a point in life where they're like, I actually want to have this pleasure, this partnership, this time as fulfilling the other parts of my life.
Yeah.
That's huge for me.
That's huge. Yeah. I mean, I spent a lot of time in a marriage with someone who chose work, and I don't want to do that again.
I was raised in a family where work was chosen over intimacy, and it broke my family. And I've always, even though I've been the one that mostly pays for everything and is making more money and doing more jobs, I'm home at 4 or 5 ready to connect. And they're not. And I just have never had someone with as much availability as I have. I really want to center the relationship.
Capacity for intimacy.
Capacity for intimacy. Centering the partnership as the sacred fire that fuels everything else, as the sun to the to the whole solar system. That's definitely my desire.
I think listening to both of you, like for me, empathy is like the side cart to emotional maturity and intelligence. So maybe that's like actually the top tier, because I think you can't be that without the other thing. So that might be actually the thing.
Right.
Emotional awareness and intelligence and maturity.
And I would imagine for all of us a sense of, I'll speak for me, that someone who has done their own work to get to that level where I'm not leading them, but they're meeting me at a place of like, they've done their work, I've done my work.
Yes.
Now we can co-create.
I fully agree with that.
Yes.
Someone that's an equal in that and being able to co-create. And I always get guided, and has been guided to my clients through their guides, is like to not talk about the attributes, but to talk about what you want your experience to be. What do you want to feel? And what I'm hearing is I want someone that I can emotionally and logistically co-create with. Right.
Yes.
And that means they have to have empathy and intelligence, and they need to have availability, and they also want to center the relationship. So those are all the attributes. But the bigger thing is, like, I could say for, if I'm ever going to have a business partner, I want someone I can really co-create with, and that we can, really create something beautiful in a way that's more nourishing if they were there rather than not there. That's what I had. That's what I got, but I could never give the attributes of you.
Right.
Right. I couldn't describe, she needs to be this. She needs to be my friend of 25 years. She needs to have this background. Like, I couldn't come up with that, but I could say the only way I would ever do it again is if it was like this. Yeah. And I got that.
Well, and we all, as accomplished single, women with full lives, I would say we also are looking for someone to add, right? To co-create something more than we already have. Like, I am not lonely. Everyone in my life is additive. So I want the romantic partner to feel like, oh, I can do all of this and have a very full and beautiful life. And now you are adding something unexpected and beautiful.
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Like, I love that they're sovereign. They love their life. They're lit up. They don't need me. Their life isn't, make or break without me, but it's definitely for them better with me in their life. And it's better for me with them in my life. And we both know that there's going to be things that come up, but we are determined to get it back to that baseline. And actually, when I asked the angels, what percentage of the time for a real, true partnership should there be unrest? And they said like 10%. And I said, really, 90% you're happy and peaceful? And he said that the guide said that's it.
Wow.
So we've been on this beautiful journey of talking about dating in our mid-age after marriages and with apps in the world and this crazy world we live in, IRL, and that guy in America and all of it, right? So as we wrap this up, what gift would you give of your lived wisdom to anyone listening right now that's navigating their heart's journey of really getting fulfillment in love and relationship?
There's so many layers to that question, but the first thing that comes to my mind is to be open-minded. I think the more roadblocks you put in front of yourself, and we do that a lot out of fear, out of what didn't work for us in the past. Think about your list of what you're looking for, and is it really realistic? And do those things on that list really make for a long-term healthy relationship? Like, is him having blue eyes really that important? Is him being 6'2" really that important? Or is him being a stable, reliable person that's always shows up for you? Like, what's better? What's going to keep you happy? What's going to fulfill you?
Fulfillment.
So whereas you may have a type, but maybe that type hasn't worked for you in the past, and now here you are and you're like, why am I still single? Do the work on yourself, because you are the common denominator in all those relationships. And I'm not saying you're a bad person, but there's something going on with you that is attracting the same person or being attracted to the same kind of person, and it continuously is not working. So be a little bit more open-minded. What can I take off this list of deal breakers that really isn't serving me?
Beautiful. And then you've been on this journey, mining your own history and experience as we've talked in circles. What gift would you give yourself leaving this conversation? What gift are you taking away?
Kindness. Something that I think everyone could practice a little more these days, and just it takes just as much energy to be kind to people than to not be. And people will always remember the way you made them feel. They may not remember the conversation, the topic, the day, the month, the year, whatever, but they're going to remember the way that you make them feel in your presence. And so practice kindness more, and to give kindness and you'll receive more kindness. Not to say that I wasn't kind before, but I want peace in my life. And, I just think that taking a step back and pausing and not getting angry or exploding or like, that pissed me off, just take a pause, like think with kindness.
So you're gifting yourself the intention of kindness for peace.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful place to conclude. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining
This was
us.
amazing.
Oh my gosh. We've done
All
it.
the things.
We've done it before the cameras came on. Now we get to do it.
Officially. It was official this time.
Yeah. Thanks for being our very first guest. It's perfect.
Thank you for having me. It was truly my pleasure.
Thanks for being on the journey with us. We'd love to have you as part of the ongoing conversation. Join us on our socials at Sophania Beauty, and join our email community at sophaniabeauty.com. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.